Boker Tov. We have some Israelis here with us. Good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 14th edition of d10e, and the second one in this wonderful country that I happen to be born in. We came here in February after 1 month of people telling me there's nobody in Romania that cares about cryptocurrencies. And we had a nice conference at the Sheraton just a few streets away. I wore the same suit for a specific purpose today, because many things have changed since then, but I try to remind myself that I don't want to change who I am and where I come from. We all come from this planet. I've been to 20 conferences in 20 countries for the last 10 months. And people keep saying, where are you from? And I say, I'm from this planet that you come from. Some people before you and I were born decided to call it something here and there. And they brainwashed us to believe that. And they gave us this passport. And they made us believe that we can't travel without that passport. And we're decentralizing all that with our brains. So in February, we brought John McAfee, and we had a great 5 days of parties and intellectual conversations. And we gathered quite a few amazing people here that they knew of themselves, but I didn't know about them. So as we were going around the world to Tel Aviv, June 6th, the market cap reached 100 billion the minute I got up on stage. And people in Romania in February 21, just 100 days before that, were asking me, where do you think the crypto market will be in 1 year if you come back with this conference February of 2018? I said, don't quote me, but I think it will be at 100 billion. And they said, how do you know? I said, I don't know. But when I got involved with this industry, it was 8 billion in February of 2016. I went to the 4th edition of d10e in Amsterdam. There were some amazing people that put it together. Jason King, who's here with us, was a speaker, and has been a speaker at all the editions since then. It was put on together by a wonderful guy by the name of Matt McKibben and Tiffany Madison, who then became the right hand to John McAfee, and that's how we finally forced McAfee to come party with us here for 5 days in February. So just for you to know, networking never, ever stops. So at that event, it was 8 billion altogether. 7 billion was Bitcoin. 1 billion was the rest of 621 cryptocurrencies. And that was the day when I read the 14 pages of Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. That was the first day I looked at coinmarketcap.com. And that was the beginning of me stopping to just listen to other people, and I did something about it. I went to a conference, and Brock Pierce, who is the founder of this amazing organization, then handed me this jewel and said, go tell the world, go educate the world with a stage and a mic. And since then, we've been able to create, or help create, EOS, which today is worth a lot of billions. I'll let you look it up on CoinMarketCap. We've helped Bancor raise money in Tel Aviv because we advised them in March, put your ICO a few days after our conference because we'll have tons of amazing investors from all over the world speaking on this stage. You're sitting next to them to bring them to your office. But to me, the most amazing baby that was born out of February, when we did this 6th edition worldwide and first in Romania, was TAS, Token as a Service. These 4 Ukrainians, 2 days before the conference started, wired us $1,500. Actually, I think they paid by Bitcoin. And they said, we want to have a networking table. We want to be a little sponsor. We don't have much money, but we have this great idea called Token as a Service Fund, TAAS. And I was like, okay, just another sponsor that wants to put a little bit of money, I'll take it. They drove down for 22 hours because there's no direct flight. And they got here, and for 2 days, they kept bugging me, the 4 of them, 21 to 28 years old. They kept bugging me, and Brock, please sit with us, we need advisors. At the time, I kept thinking, who cares about advisors? You need money, you need other things. You don't need me to advise you or Brock. And we listened to them at the dinner after the whole 2-day conference finished. And I said, wow, this is pretty smart. You're saying to the world, give me your money because you're a bunch of idiots, and I'll reinvest it for you in crypto, but I can't show you any historical data because it's all in Excel. There's no third party to validate any of this. So that was the idea. And then I didn't believe in it, so I met them in Dubai. I was there with Robert Protasa on March 5th. And again, I saw them pitch. And again, I said, okay, they're telling the world, give me your money because we're better than you. Yet they come from one of the most corrupt countries where the president had to flee to Russia on a helicopter before the people were going to kill him after a 6-month revolution. So I said, good luck to you guys. And a week later, they bugged me again, and they said, please, we need some American face. I said, but I'm Romanian, Israeli, American. You don't need me. You need other people. Eventually, I said, fine. I'll just join your advisory board, put me on your website, put me on your pitch deck. Who cares? Let's see what happens. I have stakes of 1/4 point to 1 point to 5 points in dozens of companies that never made it, and a few that made it, made some money. So, let's do it. First day, of the ICO, March 27th, I'll never forget, 400 people sent in $1 million. I was like, whoa, how does that work? That's an ICO. Okay, one of them was $100,000. That guy was working for PwC, met us in Dubai at Burj Al Arab just a month before, and he convinced one of his clients, was this, one of the princes of Saudi, to put in what he probably spends before he even wakes up, per second, $100,000. Now, he's quit working for PwC, okay? He raised $2.5 million. We invest in his company, it's called Jibril Network, and he's gonna revolutionize something else. And I'll let you look it up what that is. So the point is, these conferences, it's a stage, it's a mic, and there's a few people in the audience that are coming to learn about what is this whole field of decentralization, what is this whole field of Bitcoin, which is so incorrect the way people call it. Oh, are you in Bitcoin? It's kind of like telling people, are you in internet back in 95, or are you in email? It's so wrong the way people address it, or even media, mainstream media. I've been interviewed by Forbes and Fortune. I had to retweak their questions because there were no answers to the way they were posing their questions. But anyway, so here we are. And we chose, our whole team, besides Brad, who's my business partner from college from 20 years ago, who was born in Turkey, and then lived in France and England before he ended up in Malibu with me as 2 students studying economics. Besides him, all of us in the team that organize these events are from this country, which is great. So as we were going throughout the world doing all these conferences in Warsaw and in Kiev, because I wanted people to come see who TAS are, the 25 people that work there. And as we went to different parts of the world for various specific purposes, like Gibraltar, we went there because Gibraltar said, I want to launch my token, it's called the Rock token, because they're a big rock there, at your conference. And they had this $60 million beautiful yacht with 180 rooms that we hosted the event in, and it was a really, really nice event. So everywhere we go, there's a specific purpose of someone or a number of people that want to do something with it. But talking about time and money is kind of an old thing that I'm tired of. And what I want to talk about, if you have the booklet, the event booklet, and you could open it up at the welcome letter, I want you to look at something, but look at it while I'm saying this, because it's very, very important to me. We could talk about money and about crypto and all these imaginary tokens, as I call them, until we die. And then we die, right? There's nothing to it, right? If we don't do anything with it, it's our fault, right? So Brock Pierce said to me once, I see a lot of potential in you. Yes, we were partying in Ibiza. Yes, it was 8 in the morning. And yes, I did believe him. And he said, you are now part of my Pure Heart Club. And I said, wow, what does that mean? He said, you'll find out. And as I go around the world, I find more pure hearts. I have here a wonderful gentleman who grew up in Germany, but lives in Bogota, Colombia with his wife. And you'll hear about him. He's my newest friend in the crypto world because he's a pure heart. That's why he's here today. And many of you are here that I don't know personally, but most of you I know. And you're here because you have a pure heart, because you understood that exactly what I said there. Love, which means trust, right? If you go back 3,000 years ago to Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle, what did they say? There's no love without trust, there's no trust without love, right? We are living in a trustless society with cryptocurrencies, right? So love, create value, because otherwise you're a leech in my opinion. So do something with it for you, your family, and everybody else. The most well-known people, Muhammad Gandhi, you could name a million of them, Socrates and so forth. They are who they are because they created so much value for so many people that karma kicked back to them a lot more than they could have ever achieved if they just controlled everything and kept it for themselves. And the third thing is pass on the wealth. So love, create value, and pass on the wealth. Now most of you are thinking, great, you've been around the world, you've seen it, you've figured things out, I'm just trying to make my next living. Where's the love, create value, make money for me, and then pass on the wealth? Well, that's the whole point. The most miserable people in the world are those who kept it, and they don't realize how miserable they are because they kept it. And my message is love, create value, and pass on the wealth. Obviously means you first gathered it, and then you passed it on. So that is my message. Forget all the money, forget all the cryptocurrencies, forget the $500 billion that I'm so happy I stopped predicting the market, because when I was so wrong by saying it's going to be 100 billion in a year, and it was there in 100 days, and then I predicted it. 2 months ago, I predicted 1 trillion in 12 to 24 months. I kind of took a range for myself so I don't find myself in an embarrassing position with the media. And I now think that we'll be at 1 trillion by April 13th, which is Thomas Jefferson's Day, which is when we will host d10e in Liberland, a small territory of 2.7 kilometers in between Serbia and Croatia. We have here with us the founding president, and he'll give a great speech very shortly. And I think that's when we'll be at $1 trillion. But forget my predictions. We're here because we have an amazing list of speakers from all over the world, and of course from Romania. And the first one is my pleasure to introduce because he accepted our invitation in January. I was on LinkedIn, I sent him a message and he said, yeah, but send me an official letter, and I did. And his name is Alex Petrescu. At the time, he was the Minister of the Economy on the first day of our conference. The next day of our conference, he had another portfolio for the Ministry of Small Business Enterprises and Entrepreneurship, which was great to have at the same conference a minister that one day is this minister and the next day is this minister. So that teaches us, one, you could do it. You could survive political, you know what, and the governments are going to one day wake up, but they will wake up so late. We have Alex Leitman with us here today, who said, it's not the bubble. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are not the bubble. They're the pin that will burst everything that most of us have been brainwashed to live under.